We were talking about it before, but
What
would Khabib versus Tony look like if they were both in their primes after what we saw with Tony Ferguson in this 3-fight losing streak?
Tony Ferguson.
I think even the commentary team said, even DC said, he's like.
But that's his guy. Okay, just preface it. Hold on. Before you say it.
I get it.
Before you say it, DC and Khabib have been working at the same gym. They're not employees, but they've been training at the same gym for years and years. DC says that he taught Khabib English. DC taught him how to speak English, all that kind of stuff. But yes, they have a deep connection. So go ahead.
Well, even DC said that we used to talk about how Tony Ferguson would be one of the scary matchups. Even in camp, he's like, that's the one guy that you probably don't want to fight, right? If you're Khabib. But there's levels to this game. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't think that Tony Ferguson has the prerequisite wrestling skills. Yo, prerequisite wrestling.
Why do you have your arms like that, man? Relax.
It's comfortable, bro. He doesn't have the prerequisite wrestling skills to even fight with Khabib.
Yeah.
He's saying that if it would have happened, man, there's levels to this game and Khabib would win.
Yeah. But
wait, pause. Completely agree.
Okay. Are you done?
I'm done.
So the fight that we're talking about is Khabib versus Tony, which fell through 5 times, I believe was the official count.
Khabib?
5 times, I think it was.
5 times.
Yeah. Going to that fight, the discussion about whether or not Khabib can take down Tony wasn't there. We already knew that Tony could get taken down. That was not a problem, right? Bro, stop touching the cord, man.
It's dangling. You know what I do.
Put your hands back on your head, bro.
Okay, well.
So, like that was in discussion, right? So Tony was going to be taken down. Now the discussion came into the discussion that came up was Khabib hasn't really fought a guy that is active on the bottom. That is a high level jiu-jitsu player that can threaten Khabib in different positions. One thing that we see a lot of the times in a lot of Khabib's fight is that when he goes for a single leg, he sometimes gives up his head a little bit. Now that might just be something that Khabib does.
Happened only once though, like in the Poirier fight.
No, it's happened in other fights as well. I can't recall other fights, but he's given up his head, and then Connor had his head too, I think, but it wasn't as like as tight or anything like that. Okay, you got your head. Your hat. Okay. I was just trying to translate it to yeah. Anyway, so that was the discussion. It was that Tony Ferguson has this high level jiu-jitsu game that's unorthodox, unconventional. There's a chance that he catches Khabib in something. Not only that, is that Tony is so active on the bottom with his elbows, with his sweeps, with all that kind of stuff. Does Khabib have the answer to that? Now the second thing was the feet. Khabib is reckless sometimes on the feet, where he has his chin up really high. Sometimes he bobs and weaves a little bit way too much, and that could potentially add up as a fight goes on. And the cardio aspect was that Tony has one of the best cardios in all of the UFC, right? So how does Tony's cardio hold up compared to Khabib's? What if Khabib for 4 rounds is going for a takedown, but every time he's going for a takedown he's being held in a submission, right? And then he's eating these elbows from bottom, he's getting swept, all that kind of stuff.
The cardio might be a little bit hype, because we saw in the fight with Oliveira, right, with him and Tony Ferguson got pretty tired towards the end, man. Towards but
he's still going. He was
going, but he was basically just sitting in guard.
But that's different though, because they're both high level jiu-jitsu players, right? And maybe he just in that position was like, okay, let me just see if I can wait and he gives me an opening. I don't know. There could be a million reasons, right? But in the matchup between Tony and Khabib, that was the discussion, was how does Khabib last cardio wise? How does Khabib deal with those elbows and strikes from bottom? And how does he deal with potential submissions, especially Darces? Because Tony up until that point was landing Darces a lot on his opponents.
The king of the Darce.
And some of the times that he would get him, it was when his opponent had his head sticking out. So he would just wrap it up. And Khabib, when he takes people down, especially against the fence, his head is sticking out. right? His head is sticking out. Especially when he does that figure 4 lock on people, is that his head is sticking out. Tony potentially could put his arm under and maybe just do a dart, so you never know. So that was the discussion. It wasn't that that Tony's skills and stuff were exposed. That still is kind of present. Now, does today Khabib versus Tony, how does that go compared to like 5 years ago? I don't think it would go the same, but I don't think Tony. I don't think we have Tony the answer now. I don't think now we have the answer that definitely Khabib would have won. I still think that Tony has all these stuff that Khabib would have had trouble dealing with, and we haven't really seen him. Even now, we haven't really seen him have to deal with that kind of stuff.
And Khabib even said on Twitter, like a few months back, that he's not going to beat Dariush, and that Tony Ferguson is out of his prime, and Tony Ferguson is not good anymore. But
it's just opinion.
It's a rivalry.
What?
It's a rivalry. No. Hey,
stop going like this. What is this?
It's a rivalry.
Stop going.